Dr. Y. Sarada, Professor, Department of Mathematics, Anna University. Her area of specialization is applied probability and stochastic modeling. She has about 25 research publications in national and international journals. She has guided students for research projects. She has delivered lectures in her area of specialization in many institutions.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series on queuing and reliability. We have been looking into the queuing models. In this lecture, let us look into the simple applications of the queuing systems to decision models, design and control models. There are three types of problems in queuing theory, and they are related to the following aspects, namely the behavioral aspect, statistical aspect and the operational aspects. The probability models that we have been discussing in the past few lectures have inbuilt in themselves the behavioral aspect of the systems, because all along we look into the system behavior and study the performance measures into the various models. The statistical aspects deal with mainly the various techniques that are prevalent in trying to choose the right model. In the present lecture, let us look into the operational aspect of the problems in queuing theory. The origins of the queuing models started with A.K. Erlang in 1924, where he modeled with the Poisson queuing model, and the problem that was considered is the telephone calls that arrived at the switching board. In these models, the basic attempt was to improve the operation of the system while trying to determine the number of circuits. His work in 1924 specifically addressed a decision problem in determining the circuits. The behavioral results derived from the probability models in decision making has played a major role in queuing theory. In 1950, the development of optimization techniques had taken place for the decision making, and since then these techniques have enabled the operation researchers to introduce the design and the control procedures into the field. Basically, there are three modes of decision making. They are performance measures, design problems and control problems. The decision problems can be categorized into two ways, namely the design and control problems. In the design problem, the use of static optimization is made to determine the best system for optimizing some long run average criterion such as cost or profit, and these viewpoints characterize the design problem. And specifically the performance measures, what we have seen so far, it encompassed all the probability models that we had discussed earlier in the queuing theory. Presently, we would focus on the design problems and the control problems. In the control problem, the optimization is dynamic and the system operating characteristics are allowed to change over time. Whereas in the design problem, the use of static optimization is attempted in order to determine the best system for optimizing the long run average criterion or a reward or a profit, whichever characterizes the design problem. By saying static optimization, we say that the parameters are not varied, they are kept fixed and the analysis is done. Whereas in dynamic problem or dynamic systems, the system operating characteristics are allowed to change over time. While focusing on the performance measures in decision making, the model development occurred for improving the operations of queuing systems, starting with the work of A.K. Erlang in 1924. The applications at that time were to the telephone industry, because the whole problem of the Poisson queuing model or the arrivals are modeled as Poisson, this aspect came up due to the telephone calls arriving at a switching board. So, the application that was attempted or the analysis made through the application is that of the telephone calls which arrived at an exchange. So, and at the same time another important application that was attempted around that time was the traffic delays in toll booths. By performance measures, what is meant here is, in those problems, the probability of blocking, mean waiting time, all these characteristics were modeled. Well, in the absence of computers, graphs and charts were used at that time, and system performance was measured against some specified objectives, and changes are made in the parameters of the system elements in order to achieve them. Static attempts as well as dynamic attempts have been made at that time. While I mean by static that the parameters were kept fixed, whereas when I say that it is dynamic system, then the time dependent aspect was discussed. So, as time varies, all the characteristics of the system would vary, and accordingly the performance measures were being discussed. Another aid to decision making problems was through computer simulations, and these are used to validate models as well as to determine the best characteristics of the system. Usually, in the absence of an analytic model, either a numerical model is attempted, and in order to validate this, if the data is available or a model is available through a survey or a data, otherwise the system is evaluated virtually. So, when you say that virtual evaluation of a system, it is nothing but we are talking about simulation. Hence, these computer simulations are used once again to validate models as well as to determine the best characteristics of the system. Now, coming to the design problems in decision making, economic models were given greater attention. In a design problem, cost functions are used to establish optimum values of the parameters or optimum structural configurations in order to achieve a desired performance in the system. While focusing on the performance measures, the cost functions could be based on monetary costs or the performance measures as said before. So, once again the objective function could involve the cost function or a reward function, in other words a profit function. So, basically the problem is that of optimization. The optimization could be that of minimizing a cost function or maximizing the profit function. So, objective is that of optimization. So, and these design problems either focus that or they use the performance measures, for example, that we have been looking into in the various 5 models in the past, in the queuing models, Markovian queuing models in particular. So, I said in this case the optimization is static, where we fix the parameters and we do not vary the parameter. Whereas, in the case of complex queuing models, it is very difficult to track the performance measures. So, whenever we are entering into the case of non-tractable performance measures, we have to resort to trial and error methods and also the numerical procedures. Once again here the probability of blocking has been used in order to get an expression for the waiting time of an arriving customer, because we do not have an explicit or the analytic expression for the waiting time. So, in this case when we do not have such an expression, namely we can't track the performance measures. So, one has to resort to the trial and error methods or the numerical procedures. We will see a couple of examples now. Example 1, the problem is that of determining optimum number of clerks to be placed behind a tool crib counter in an aircraft factory. In this case the arrivals have been assumed to be Poisson and the service rates are again Poisson, and in other words the inter service times or the inter arrival times have been assumed to be exponential. Now, as regards the objective function, again the economic considerations, one has to look into the cost function. So, in this case the cost function includes cost per clerk and the cost per customer per unit time. The analysis involves an objective function, and where the objective is the cost function and the optimization is that of the minimization, because cost is involved, and the costs focus on the cost per clerk and the cost per customer per unit time. So, it is the service rate costs that are being assumed here. Another example which involves the problem of determining the optimum value of the number admitted into a say MM1 N queuing system. So, when I say MM1 N, I mean the arrivals and the departures have been modeled as Poisson. The number of servers is 1 and there is a restriction on the capacity of the system to be capital N. So, for such a system the problem was to determine the optimum value of the number admitted to the system. How? This is done by balancing the service cost with the cost of losing customers. We know that in a finite capacity system or the finite capacity queuing model, once there are the number in the system, they have reached the maximum possible. In this case the maximum is capital N. So, once the system is crowded by the capital N, then a new arrival has to leave the system. So, in this case the probability of finding the number greater than the capacity, in this case it is capital N. So, P n is 0, P n plus 1 is 0, P n plus 2 onwards is 0. So, in this case we have the balancing of the service cost with the cost of losing the customers. So, otherwise such a system would not be profitable, and also we have the loss of goodwill of the customers at the same time. So, the cost involved in this model were E times mu, where the mu is the service rate while E is the cost of service per unit time. Hence, if the service rate is mu, we have E mu to be the cost of service per unit time. And here capital G is assumed to be the gross profit per single service operation. Lambda is assumed to be the Poisson arrival rate and P is the net profit per unit time. Writing the profit function for this model, we have P equal to lambda times G into 1 minus rho power n by 1 minus rho power n plus 1 minus E mu, and we find dou P by dou mu, that is differentiate P and equate it to 0, which gives us this expression rho power n plus 1 into n minus of n plus 1 into rho plus rho power n plus 1 divided by 1 minus rho power n plus 1 the whole square. This is equated to E by G. Plotting this equation for E by G against rho, we can determine capital N. Another example again lies on the waiting line models. Here we consider the cost of waiting to be proportional to the time in the system, and also the cost of service can be a linear function of the number of servers. So, these are a few variants of the cost function while writing down the objective function. Now, control problems in decision making involves under these control problems decision problems that require optimization in a dynamic setting are included. So, again no longer we are into the static setting anymore. When we talk about the control problems in decision making, we are into retaining the dynamic setting. That is, in this case the parameters do vary with time or whatever the criteria that is employed for that model under consideration. One example again we will see. Consider a multi-server queue with a variable number of servers depending on whether the queue length reaches a given number n, capital N. When the queue length reaches n, if the number of servers is s plus I, where I can be greater than or equal to 0, an additional server is added. This procedure is continued until the number of servers reaches a maximum of s, capital S. On the other hand, if the queue length drops below n minus 1, when the number of servers is s plus I, one server is removed from service. Again, this procedure is continued until the minimum number of smallest servers are reached. Now, performance measures of this model provide the effectiveness of such a policy in the operation of the system. The related issues could be the optimality of increasing the service rate with the increasing number of customers in the system. Also, k possible service rates can be considered with the corresponding cost rates like C of I say to be the customer cost rate incurred when I customers exist in the system. Also, it could be R I, which is the cost rate incurred when service rate mu I is used. So, we do not fix the service rate to be a constant as mu, we can depending on the number in the system, the service rates could be varied. So, for example, one customer in the system mu 1 is the service rate and 2 customers in the system mu 2 is the service rate and so on. Accordingly, the cost functions can be made to depend on the number. So, these are the two variants that we can think of, C of I and R I. Another control problem is, given a cost structure, it is to be determined whether it is optimal to start serving when there is at least one customer in the system. Due to the nature of queuing theory, design and control policies used in applications are relatively very few. As the systems become complex, the representative models are also complex and the resulting performance measures become intractable for deriving usable policies, and one has to resort to either the trial and error methods or the numerical procedures. We will see the summary of the queuing models that we have been looking into this session on queuing theory. Model 1, we went on to see the single server model with infinite capacity, MM1 GD infinity infinity. The rates lambda n is lambda, namely the arrival rate, and mu n is mu, the service rate. N can be 0, 1, 2 etc. in the case of lambda. In the case of mu, the rates are the values of n are 1, 2, 3 and the rates are mu n equal to mu. P naught was obtained as 1 minus rho, where rho was defined as lambda by mu, and the probability of finding n customers in the system in the steady state was found to be rho power n into 1 minus rho, and rho is less than 1. We went on to see the Little's formula for this model, Ls equal to E of n, which is defined as sigma n equal to 0 to infinity n into Pn, and obtained Ls as rho by 1 minus rho, and Lq was obtained as using this formula as given here, sigma n equal to 1 to infinity n minus 1 into Pn, and Lq is related with Ls using the Little's formula. Similarly, we can obtain the waiting time in the steady state, expected waiting time, namely Ws in the system, and accordingly waiting time of a customer in the queue on an average. All these 4 measures are related through the Little's formula. Now, we will see the second model, namely the finite capacity model, single server. So, MM1 GD n infinity. The rates are lambda n equal to lambda, n equal to 0 to n minus 1, and it is defined as 0 once n takes a value capital N, etc., because there is a restriction on the capacity of the system to be capital N, and mu n is defined as mu without any restriction on the number present in the system. So, n equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. We obtained P naught, the probability of finding no customer in the system in the steady state, as 1 by 1 plus rho square and so on plus rho power n, which is nothing but 1 minus rho by 1 minus rho power n plus 1, and hence Pn was obtained as rho power n into P naught. P naught just now we saw 1 minus rho by 1 minus rho power n plus 1. Here n equal to 0, 1, 2 etc. n, and when particularly rho not equal to 1, and when rho is equal to 1, we have n by 2 as the value for Ls. So, performance measures Ls when rho not equal to 1 was given by this expression out here in terms of rho and capital N, the maximum capacity of the system, and Lq using the Little's formula is linked with Ls and rho as given here. Lq is nothing but Ls minus lambda by mu. Similarly, we can obtain Ws and Wq using the Little's formula as said before. In this case, lambda lost will be written as lambda, it is proportional to lambda, and that constant of proportionality is nothing but Pn, probability of n customers in the system, and lambda effective accordingly is given as lambda into 1 minus Pn, which is nothing but lambda minus lambda lost. Now, model 3 speaks about the multi-server models infinite capacity. So, MMC GD infinity infinity. In this case, lambda n is defined as lambda for all n, and mu n there is a split whether the number is less than the servers or the number present in the system is greater than the number of servers. So, it is accordingly defined as n mu if n less than or equal to c, and c mu if n is greater than c. Pn is obtained as rho power n by n factorial into P naught, where rho is lambda by mu, n is less than or equal to c, and in other case it is rho power n by n factorial into c power n minus c into P naught when n is greater than c. P naught is again obtained by using the normality condition. Now, performance measures again as before, this time we find Lq, which is given by sigma n equal to c to infinity n minus c times Pn, which is given by c times rho by c minus rho the whole square into Pc, and Pc is given by rho power c by c factorial into P naught. Again rho is lambda by mu. As before, the performance measures, Ls is given by Lq plus lambda by mu, Ws Ls by lambda, Wq is Lq by lambda. The next model we saw was model 4, where we see the finite capacity multi-server model, that is MMC GD n infinity, C is less than n, number of servers less than the capacity of the system. Lambda n is defined as lambda and 0 when n lies between 0 and capital N. If it is 0, then n is greater than or equal to n. Mu n is defined as before, n mu and c mu, according as number present is less than c in the system or greater than the number of servers. Now, Pn again using this formula out here is split into two parts, when the case when n lies between 0 and c and n lies between c and capital N. P naught again is to be found by the normality condition, and when rho by c equal to 1, we have it is equal to n minus c plus 1. So, again we have this expression complete when rho by C is less than 1 and rho by C is equal to 1, because in this case there is no requirement that rho by C should not be equal to 1, because we are talking about a restriction on the capacity of the system. Performance measures as before, using the Little's formula we obtain LQ and others LS, WS, LQ linked by the Little's formula. So, model 5 was infinite server model, where we define lambda n is lambda, mu n is n mu, and P naught was obtained as e power minus rho with P n equal to rho power n by n factorial into P naught. The performance measures, we have Ls is rho and Lq is 0 because there is no waiting time. Model 6 speaks about the machine interference model with the rates defined as given here. Lambda n is k minus n times lambda, and service rates mu n defined accordingly as n lies between 0 and r or r and k, and n is greater than k. Steady state probability of finding no customer in the system P naught has been obtained as this, so that the performance measures as before, the usual procedure of using the Little's formula, we get the expressions in this form. So far in today's lecture we have looked into some simple applications of the queuing systems to the design and control problems in decision making, and then we just saw the summary of the 6 queuing models, particularly the Markovian queuing models. Thank you.